Okay, so this is my teaching audience. I guess. Okay. So our experiment was chemical reactions, baking soda and vinegar, and water and calcium chloride. So the questions you guys should be able to answer after being taught is, what effect does calcium chloride have on water, and what does exothermic and endothermic mean? Okay, so part one, summarize. How is the temperature of vinegar affected when combined with baking soda? We thought that the temperature would get hotter when it was combined because of the explosion of mixture that is created when you combine baking soda and vinegar. First, we put on our safety glasses for lab safety. Then we poured 10 milliliters of vinegar into a small beaker. After that, we carefully spooned up another 10 milliliters of baking soda and put it in the vinegar. Part one, results. Our results for this procedure was exactly the opposite of our hypothesis. Our hypothesis was that the solution of vinegar and baking soda would get hotter. What actually ended up happening was that the solution's temperature decreased to 65.4 degrees. It made a colder solution an endothermic solution. Part two, summarize. How is the temperature of the water affected when combined with calcium chloride? Our hypothesis for this portion of the experiment was that the mixture would get hotter because of the calcium. First, we put 10 milliliters of water in the beaker, exactly the same as part one, but with water instead of vinegar. Then we spooned out 5 milligrams of calcium chloride and put it into the water carefully. Then we stirred the mixture for about 2 minutes. Part two, results. Our hypothesis to this portion of the experiment was that the mixture of these two elements would make the solution colder, which is exactly the opposite of what happened. The mixture ended up making a hotter solution. The temperature rose about 15 degrees and created a much warmer mixture, an exothermic reaction. Energy types and transfers. Our energy types were endothermic and exothermic reactions. The baking soda and vinegar became a colder mixture than before, making it an endothermic reaction. An endothermic reaction is when more energy is needed to break apart two elements, such as the baking soda and vinegar, making it take out heat. Endothermic, endo meaning internal or within, making it colder and producing an endothermic reaction. With the calcium chloride and water, it made an exothermic reaction, exactly the opposite of an endothermic reaction. Less energy is needed to break the two elements apart, making it take in heat and making an exothermic reaction. Exo meaning external or outside. What is real life application for this experiment? Well, we could say a real life application experiment would be a fire, because fire is created when heat and fuel come together, much like how our experiment with the calcium and water, which made a hotter substance. Another real life application that can be applied to our experiment could be an explosion. An explosion needs less energy to break apart the elements in it, making it an exothermic reaction, just as calcium chloride and water, or like when you melt ice in the wintertime. Our science skills with practice with our experiment, we use cause and effect by seeing what caused the reaction and what the effect was. The cause was the baking soda and calcium chloride, and we saw the effect it had on the mixture, making it colder or hotter, exothermic or endothermic. We also used obtaining, evaluating, and communicating information. We obtained the information we had from our experiment, then evaluated it to see what happened, then communicated together so that we could fully understand what happened. Okay, so the questions your student should be able to answer after being taught. So, what effect does calcium chloride have on water?
Am I supposed to read that? Or,
You're supposed to know.
You're supposed to know it, yeah.
supposed to know it?
Yeah.
From what she taught you.
So the calcium chloride doesn't make it hotter or colder.
Hotter.
Yes, okay, yes. Because the calcium, like, it takes more energy in it, you know? Like, it takes more energy in it to, like, break apart it, so, like, it makes it hotter. But if you need less energy, I mean, wait. No, because never mind. Less energy is hotter and more energy is colder. So with the baking soda and water, you needed more energy, which made it colder. But with the calcium chloride and water, it needed less energy, so it was hotter. Yeah, makes sense.
Sort of.
Okay, and then, so what is exothermic? Is that the hotter?
It makes the substance hot.
Yes. Okay, and the endothermic is
Colder.
colder. So exothermic is making something hotter, is taking in heat, and endothermic is making something colder, taking out heat. So, yeah, it's my presentation. So.